Well, she's read all the books, she's taken lots of advice, chosen her colour scheme, and with her brushes and her rollers all organised, Betty is ready this week for a new challenge.
You better ask someone who works here how much we'll need.
You'll need paintbrushes and rollers as well.
Everyone's keen to help, but our Betty is determined to surprise them and show that she's a woman of many talents.
Terracotta, rag rolled. Just you wait and see.
If you're planning some work around the house, we've learning points on working out measurements, reading safety instructions, and getting to know euro notes and coins. And don't forget to keep your Read Right Now workbook handy. We'll be working on pages 8, 109 and 114 this week. You'll find the workbook very useful because you can practice your reading and writing during the week. The number to ring for your free copy is 1800 20 20 65. Our first stop this week is Kilkenny to meet Pauline Phelan. Growing up in New Ross, County Wexford, Pauline struggled to learn to read and write. But she developed her artistic talents and she found that through art she was able to express her thoughts and feelings.
The school I went to, it was about 3 miles from the home, and sometimes we had to walk to school and walking back, and by the time you get home and you'd have your dinner and straight away you were doing cows and feeding calves and tilling and stuff like that, so it didn't leave a lot of time for homework. Classes were mixed. You had about 2-3 classes in with one teacher, and if you were slow you were just left behind. I didn't realise that my reading was bad until I went into secondary school, and I found that I just was totally behind the rest of the class.
Pauline went to Galway to train as a waitress, and then she moved to Kilkenny to start her first job, hoping she'd be able to cope.
I ended up hiding a lot of my reading difficulties. The practical part of me was brilliant. When it comes to writing, I hid a lot. It was okay once I knew the menu. Once I could have that in my head, I was grand. But once somebody put me into the dining room, into a place I didn't know, a panic set in. I ended up hiding a lot at the time, afraid I'd be asked for something that I wouldn't know what it was. A lot of us do with memory. You would hear people and you would put what they would order. You put a face to that, so when you come back out, you wouldn't have to ask any questions. You just remembered what they ordered. It was all a trick of the mind, really, and how you use things differently because of not being able to read and write properly. You'd use your talents or whatever in a different way.
What are you reading?
I bought myself a decorating magazine. Thanks.
Looks a bit complicated.
No, the guy in the shop said the projects were dead easy.
They always say that.
I had a good look. I reckon they are.
I don't know. I mean, look at that. Special paint effects. Looks a bit tricky to me.
See, now I've finished the garden, I really want to get started on the decorating again. I have the whole upstairs stripped and ready to go.
The whole upstairs. Look, why don't you do one room at a time?
I will. I'm going to start with the bedroom. Can't you just see it? Orange, rag rolled with terracotta. Perfect for those long, dreary winter evenings.
Rag rolled.
Just one of the many simple, easy to do and impressive techniques explained in my magazine.
Why don't you get someone in to do it for you? I mean, some jobs are best left to the experts, if you ask me.
Don't be like that, Bernie. I was going to go down to the hardware store later to check some prices. Will you come with me?
Okay. I don't have a good feeling about this.
Where do we start?
Just follow the signs. Let's have a look at the paint first.
Oh, look, non-drip. This looks good. Tibetan gold.
How much are they?
$9.50.
They don't look very big, do they?
You better ask someone who works here how much we'll need.
You'll need paintbrushes and rollers as well. Must be around here somewhere.
I'd say one roller and one medium-sized brush will do it.
Oh, look, that looks like good value.
great. Take a note of that. This is getting exciting. I don't think it's going to be that expensive either.
And they're plastic sheets to catch the drips, and they're cheap as well.
Now we'll use newspaper. Anyway, paint is non-drip.
Now you're thinking like a decorator.
In most of the larger hardware shops, you'll find that they organise their products into different sections to help customers find what they're looking for. For example, there'll probably be a sign for the paint section, for wallpaper, and for tiling. If you're planning to do some painting, tiling or wallpapering, some of the things you might need to buy include sandpaper, paintbrushes, bath sealant, wallpaper paste, and a cutter for the tiles. You'll most likely find the paintbrushes and sandpaper in the paint section, the wallpaper paste in the wallpaper section, and the bath sealant and the cutter in the tiling section. And don't forget, if you can't see what you're looking for, it's quite common to ask one of the assistants. They'll be pleased to help. Meanwhile, if you're planning some work around the house, why not continue this exercise, which you'll find on page 114 of the workbook.
Excuse me, how much paint would I need to paint my bedroom?
Well, it depends on the size of your bedroom.
It's about average, isn't it, Bets?
Yeah.
Well, you need to work out how many square metres you're going to paint. Then you check on the tin to see if you have enough.
And how do I work out square metres?
Well, you need a measuring tape. Do you have one?
I do.
Right. Well, you measure the length of the wall and multiply it by the height. And that'll give you the measurement in square metres.
That sounds easy. We'll do that and then I'll come back and get the paint.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll see you then. Thanks.
Right, see you.
Oh, can't you just see it bright orange?
Yeah.
And rag rolled with terracotta.
Oh no, I can't see that working out. Terracotta, rag rolled.
Just you wait and see.
Have you tape measure?
Oh yeah. Ta-da!
Are you sure it'll be long enough?
It'll be grand, come on. Okay, 150 centimetres. 100 centimetres to a metre. That's a metre and a half.
Oh, come back!
What?
You have to wait for me before you move so I can see where I need to put the mark.
Okay, a metre and a half. And a metre and a half. That's 3 metres.
Uh-huh. And 30 centimetres.
Okay, 3 metres, 30 centimetres. Hello? Hello? Come on up. We'll just get the height.
Hiya.
How are you?
Aye.
You're not trying to measure the wall with that dressmaker's tape, are you?
It'll do the job.
Ah, no, don't struggle. I've got a proper tape measure in the car. I'll go get a few.
Oh, great.
Just the way we turned up, isn't it? What are you measuring the wall for?
To paint them. Orange and terracotta red.
Orange and terracotta.
It will be beautiful. Just wait and see.
Once you've decided on your colour scheme, the next step is to figure out how much paint you're going to need for the job. To do this, you first need to find out the area of the room you're going to paint. To calculate the area of a wall or floor or any flat area, you need to measure the width of the wall and then the height, and then multiply one by the other. This will give you the measurement in square metres. A square metre is a square that's 1 metre high by 1 metre wide. So, say your wall is 4 metres wide and 3 metres high. Then 4 multiplied by 3 is 12. So now you've calculated that the area of your wall is 12 square metres. Multiplication is a shortcut for adding, and if you're not sure how to multiply, then just add it up 4 times. 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3, you get 12. Let's take another example. Your wall is 2 metres wide and 3 metres high. Multiply 2 by 3 and you discover that the area of the wall is 6 square metres. Again, if you're not sure of the multiplication, add 2 plus 2 plus 2 and you get 6. If you do this with each wall, then you have the total area of the room. Eventually, Pauline decided it was time to do something about her problem. To tackle head-on the lack of confidence that was holding her back.
I didn't have anyone standing there, telling me I was stupid. So I was doing it myself. I was beating myself telling me how stupid I was. I wasn't able to help my kids. They'd come and ask me, you know, Mommy, how do you spell, or ask me my spellings, you know, and I'd have to ask him what the word was before I could ask him how to spell it. And I was so angry at myself because I wasn't there for my kids. I decided that was it. I was going to do something. It took me a couple of months to go in that door into Word Aid. The moment I met the organiser, Mary Buckley, just to hear her telling me, you know, that I'm not as bad as I think I am, that she can help me, you know, because I thought, you know, I was the only one and no one could help me, that it was like this for life. Because of my reading problem, my self-esteem was very, very low, and to do anything out of the ordinary, I wouldn't venture anywhere that was unknown to me. And that all changed when I came to Word Aid. Being able to be friends with that person, you know, you come in and, you know, you just didn't start straight into homework or work. As you go in and you talk about your day, and she talked about her day, and we'd have a laugh, you know, and just to be able to have that interaction with someone, which I've never had really before, it was great, because I always kept people at a distance in case they found out of my reading problem. It was just an experience that just totally lifted me up and put me out into the world. I wanted to learn how to drive, and because my husband was away quite a lot and there was a car sitting there, so she taught me. Then we went through the book of the rules of the roads, and we went through it. And when my test came up then, it was no problem. I passed it first go, so it was great. That was a confidence builder anyway. Well, basically before venturing out, I mean, I do the shopping and I'd collect the kids from school, and that was me going out. I've always, you know, wanted to be able to go in and just sit down, have a cup of coffee and a natter with friends. You'd see people do, you know, but I was always too scared to do it, afraid I'd be asked for something that I wouldn't know about, or I might ask for something and they would look at me as if I had two heads or something.